Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran and welcome to yet another video where I pitch my own idea for a video game TV series. So this sort of thing just started not so long ago when Bethesda announced a Fallout TV show being produced for Amazon, and I was quite excited and filled with ideas, so I just had to make a video. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, then I have that video linked down below. So for those of you who have missed out on the latest news, Netflix have recently announced the Resident Evil TV show, which has been long in the rumour mill, so it's cool to have it finally confirmed, but this is a big but, by the way. The show does not sound good. No, based off the description we have, it does not sound great in my opinion. To sum it up very briefly, the show follows two different timelines. One that follows two Wesker children who recently moved to New Raccoon City. Yes, New Raccoon City, where they slowly uncover a horrible mystery. The second timeline takes place in the future, where there aren't many humans left, and only one of the sisters attempt to survive. Yeah, so to me this description does not sound great at all, and when skimming the internet, looking on Twitter and looking on video descriptions and video comments, a lot of people are not impressed by this description and synopsis of the new show. I feel the exact same way. I feel like they could have done so much more and they could have explored so much more. They went into the Resident Evil movie direction where they're like, hey, let's go do our own thing, instead of focusing on the games and the story of the games and things like that. So luckily for all of you, I have a pitch that better matches a Resident Evil TV show than this new series. So over the past few years, I've been kinda developing my very own Resident Evil show that would be an adaptation of the games, but with new twists and turns with brand new characters. I wasn't too sure what to do with this idea because it's been like an on and off thing for me for like the past 2 years, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really gonna make this, like, it's just sort of a fan project, it's just sort of a fan thing that I do in my spare time. I finally have a reason to tell everyone about it. Like, what is this show? What is my idea for a Resident Evil TV show? So without further ado, let me take you on a journey that is season 1 of Resident Evil. The season opens with a brand new character laying hungover in bed. That new character being Detective Mike Ashfield of the RPD. He awakes to a familiar song on the radio, but as he gets dressed and ready for work, we hear the radio host cut to breaking news of yet another murder on the outskirts of the city. From here we get a look at the current state of Raccoon City, which is riddled with crime and just infested with just degenerates. The season mainly follows Mike as he tackles these new cannibalistic murders alongside familiar characters like Marvin Branagh and Kevin Ryman from the Outbreak series. It's quite cool as well because the bar at the very start of Outbreak where every character sort of meets, that's going to be in the show. That's going to be like the main sort of location where they're going to go and just, chill out, unwind after a hard day's work. As events unfold and a mystery evolves, the plot starts to introduce main characters from the games with the introduction of the Special Tactics and Rescue Service, more commonly known as STARS. Basically, the show will take a majority of the game's story but add its own little elements in there to fit the narrative of the show. So the first half of season 1 will act as a prequel to the games and tell the origins and background of STARS. This all leads up to the second half of Season 1, which will be the mansion incident and some events from Resident Evil 0. Mike gets accepted into STARS and becomes a member of Alpha Team alongside characters such as Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine, who will also have story arcs within the show. I wanted to spend only like 3 full episodes within the mansion incident just so we have a decent 3-act structure, instead of having countless episodes and an entire season spent in one location and dragging everything out. Everything in these final 3 episodes play out in a similar and more condensed fashion to Resident Evil Remake. So expect the side story with Lisa Trevor and our characters solving puzzles and battling giant snakes. So this is kinda how the show is laid out. Each game has its own season, the exception being Season 2, where Resident Evil 2 and 3 are blended into one narrative. The tone of this show as well would be similar to that of Mindhunter, being a dark crime thriller turned to straight up horror. Oh, and that's another thing as well. I wanted the encounters of the zombies to be a big thing in the show, and I wanted to make them really scary when they appear. That's why when you get to like episode 8, when like the mansion incident begins, the first zombie that you encounter, it's like, fucking hell, this is gonna be brutal. I find this concept of a Resident Evil show being a crime thriller to be excellent because it's just a brilliant way to set up the Resident Evil universe to new viewers and easing them into the lore and world instead of just jumping in to like this massive lore heavy thing. Yeah, like, you just ease them in because this show isn't just made for gamers, isn't just made for fans of the games, it's also made, and again I say this in like every TV adaptation video that I do, is that every time like an adaptation happens, it's made to introduce new viewers and new people into the IP. It worked on me. Like, I love and adore the Castlevania and Witcher shows, even though I barely played any of those games. One goal I had with this show, especially with Season 1, was to introduce Raccoon City with Umbrella branding everywhere. That and adding the mystery of the cannibal murders. Because at the start of the series, Mike and the gang, they just think it's like a weird serial killer going about, and they never expect it to be actual zombies, you know? So as they're like going through the city trying to desperately solve these cases, they never really expect it to be this. And Umbrella is in the shadows. The Umbrella mystery is like evolving because Mike is getting a wee bit suspicious of their activity because, again, you see that like there's rumours of the orphanage, there's rumours of an underground lab, there's rumours of all this sort of stuff, you know, spiralling about. So yeah, that's all going to develop. So yeah, that was basically my concept of a Resident Evil TV show, and one I think would work really well with the series. You could expand on many characters and even add additional backstory to them while also developing new and interesting characters like Mike. The way the actual Netflix RE show is going just doesn't make me excited. I'm not going to be like, oh, this is going to be shit until I see a trailer. I want to see a trailer before I fully form my opinions, but my initial impressions is, yeah, this is, I'm not liking the premise, I'm not liking the synopsis. I think most of us, especially like fans of the games, and probably even outside fans as well, they probably want a show centered around the games as well. Like, it just makes sense. Like, why would we have new Raccoon City and what I assume will be Albert Wesker's kids? Like, why? Who came up with that pitch? Like, I really want to know who came up with the pitch of this show, because it just sounds so oddly. Why would you do this? I just hope it isn't as bad as the movies. The first one, like, the first movie was alright, but my god, like, the rest of them were just, they just weren't great. They were like alright action flicks and that was about it. I just hope that the show just has the tone of the games instead of whatever the movies were. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed watching this video, and is there any games you want me to pitch as a TV show? Let me know down in the comments below. Special thanks to my lovely patrons, Cat G, Proxy1, TG Monster, and Enigma Plays 115 for your continued support over my Patreon. Thank you guys so much, I do really appreciate it. But yeah, that's me for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Next video coming up is community ideas for Fallout 5 episode 4, so if you want to get your idea submitted and shown off in the video, then please comment them on my community post or in the last episode of community ideas. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video, and I shall be seeing you all next time. Bye bye.